And I now give the floor to His Excellency Salahuddin Rabbani, the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Afghanistan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I wish to convey our gratitude to His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, UN Secretary General, for convening today's high-level meeting on addressing large movement of refugees and migrants. We have gathered here today against the backdrop of the unprecedented flow of migrants and refugees across the world. The time has come, therefore, to put into motion a concerted international response to address this growing phenomenon holistically and in all its aspects. Mr. President, based on our experience, Afghanistan is well aware of the complex challenge associated with the issue of global refugees. The legacy of more than 2 decades of armed conflict and violence has brought about a situation whereby millions of Afghan women and children were forced to leave their homes and seek refuge abroad. More than 95% of our refugees live in neighboring countries, Iran and Pakistan, and we are grateful for their generosity in hosting our people. Since beginning a new chapter in Afghanistan in 2001, millions of Afghans have returned to their homeland, marking the largest repatriation movement in modern history. For several years now, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and other humanitarian organizations have had the central role in international efforts to support and assist Afghan refugees during some of the most difficult moments of our nation's life. We are grateful for their support and commitment to address the plight of our refugees and IDPs. Needless to say, millions of our citizens remain refugees and continue to face difficult social, economic, and humanitarian conditions. In this regard, I would like to underscore the importance of ensuring that all refugees, whether Afghan or of any other nationality, are granted respect and equal treatment by host countries in accordance with the international humanitarian law and human rights law. Mr. President, since its formation 2 years ago, the National Unity Government has pursued a national and regional effort together with our relevant international partners for a viable and long-term solution to the plight of Afghan refugees, with special emphasis on voluntary return and sustainable reintegration. To that end, the Quadripartite Commission comprising Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and the solutions strategy for the Afghan refugees adopted in Geneva in 2012 remain the overarching framework within which the National Unity Government is striving to achieve the voluntary, gradual, and dignified return of our refugees and their sustainable reintegration. As a matter of equal importance, we are also adamantly focused on addressing the problems faced by our internally displaced persons, which over the past 2 years has increased in numbers, mainly resulting from insecurity in some parts of the country caused by violence and terror committed by Taliban and affiliated groups. Here, I would like to reiterate our appeal to the international community to render a long-term supporting role to effectively address the plight of our refugees and IDPs. With the National Unity Government, we in the National Unity Government are cognizant that Afghanistan's social and economic development provides the ultimate guarantee for resolving the challenges facing refugees and IDPs in a holistic manner. We are working to improve conditions for our people in towns, villages, and districts across Afghanistan. To this end, we look up to the upcoming Brussels conference on Afghanistan in 2 weeks' time, and we hope that the international community will make new pledges of assistance to help us implement our national peace and development framework, which aims at enabling us to achieve self-reliance during the transformation decade. Mr. President, we are pleased that today's high-level meeting offers due focus and attention to addressing the root causes of migration at the global level. In most cases, those who resettle do so not as a matter of choice, but circumstances. Poverty, conflict, and a lack of economic opportunities are some of the main factors leading to resettlement. In this regard, the central role of the UN will remain of strategic importance in providing support across a wide spectrum, including development assistance, conflict prevention, systems development, as well as in peace building and national reconciliation. The adoption of SDGs last September here in New York was a milestone charting a new development framework over the next 15 years. The implementation of the SDGs will go a long way in helping to ensure peace, security, and a stable economic environment in countries of origin, offering an incentive to people and families to avoid resettlement. Mr. President, in this context, Afghanistan conveys its concern over the continuing trend where migrants and refugees are subject to acts of xenophobia, discrimination, and other stereotypes based on religious and cultural differences in some parts of the world. A renewed effort is necessary to push back against this dangerous narrative, which constitutes a clear violation of international humanitarian law, including human rights law. We welcome the Secretary General's approach to launch a global campaign to counter various forms of discrimination against migrants and refugees. We must perceive diversity as a source of strength and optimism rather than seeing it from a negative perspective. After all, humanity is one, irrespective of our cultural, religious, and geographical differences. We all aspire towards the same goals, the chance to live in peace, to prosper, and above all, to ensure a better and brighter life for our children and future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, today's summit is a fitting opportunity for all of us to reaffirm our shared commitment to protect and promote the rights of all refugees and migrants, and to do so in adherence to the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Afghanistan welcomes the adoption of the Conference Declaration and its two annexes, the Comprehensive Refugee Response Framework, and towards a global compact for safe, orderly, and regular migration. Before concluding, I want to convey our gratitude to the co-facilitators for so ably leading the intergovernmental negotiations on our conference declaration. And I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the Foreign Minister of Afghanistan for his statement.
Thank you.